Nollywood actress Doris Ogala has been trending since her emotional video accusing the founder of Liberation City Church, Pastor Chris Okafor, of destroying her life surfaced online. The 44-year-old actress alleges that she was in an intimate relationship with the Lagos-based pastor for over 8 years, a period she says left her emotionally broken, financially drained, and publicly humiliated. In a tearful outburst, Doris claimed she had a miscarriage for the pastor, lost her dad and brother mysteriously, and has lost her health since then. She accused him of deceiving her to end her marriage to her husband, promising to marry her, but he has now gone ahead to announce his marriage to another woman. Doris maintained that after 8 years of sleeping with her back-to-back, sending her naked pictures and videos to him while still in marriage, Pastor Chris cannot marry another woman without settling her. She made it clear that unless he buys her a house as compensation. But the most shocking part of Doris Ogala's story is not the intimacy with the pastor while still married, the house demand, or even the wedding that went on without her. It is a series of choices she made long before any camera was turned on. Choices that began in Dubai in 2012. This story began quietly in 2012 when Doris first met her ex-husband Kingsley Anyanwangu in Dubai. At the time, the relationship looks promising. Kingsley did not waste time presenting himself as serious. He went straight to meet her people. Introductions were done, and both families began to see the union as something that would eventually lead to marriage. On paper, everything looked right, but behind the scenes, the relationship wasn't anything but peaceful. Kingsley was reportedly obsessive, controlling, and emotionally intense. Over time, this obsession reportedly grew into physical abuse. What was meant to move from introduction to marriage became stuck in limbo, weighed down by fear, violence, and emotional exhaustion. Eventually, Doris walked away. Kingsley relocated to South Africa. Communication stopped, and that chapter appeared closed. By 2017, Doris had moved on with her life emotionally, even if the scars of the past had not fully healed. That year marked a turning point. Fate, as Doris later described it, placed her on the walkway of the Force CID headquarters in Abuja. There she encountered a man who at first glance appeared ordinary enough. His name was Chris Okafor. At that moment, Doris did not know she had just crossed paths with a pastor. What she noticed was confidence, charm, and an instant connection that felt like love at first sight. He approached her, conversation flowed naturally, and before long, phone numbers were exchanged. A colleague, Shama Okoye, witnessed the meeting, unknowingly becoming a silent footnote in a story that would later explode in public view. Their communication deepened quickly. Chris invited Doris to attend a crossover service at his church, scheduled between midnight and the early hours of the morning. On arrival, she was received by another pastor, Sylvester, who escorted her to Chris Okafor's office. It was there that the tone of their relationship shifted from casual interest to emotional involvement. Chris disclosed that he was divorced and had 2 children, a daughter and a son. This openness, combined with his calm assurance, convinced Doris that she was dealing with a man who knew what he wanted. As the new year approached, they traveled separately to their villages. Shortly after, Chris invited Doris to his hometown in Anambra. He introduced her to his parents, a gesture that, in Doris's eyes, confirmed his seriousness. Introductions to parents are not small gestures in Nigerian culture. They carry weight, intentions, and implied commitment. To further reinforce this image, Chris arranged an escort to drive her home. By early 2017, the relationship had settled into something Doris believed was solid, purposeful, and headed towards marriage. That same year delivered a heavy emotional blow. Doris lost her father, grief set in, and in moments like that, people often cling tightly to whoever offers comfort and stability. Chris remains present in her life, strengthening the emotional bond between them. By 2019, time began to feel like an enemy. Doris was getting older and family pressure intensified. Her mother and relatives urged her to marry, repeatedly reminding her that society was not gentle with unmarried women past a certain age. Around this time, a familiar figure reappeared. Kingsley returned from South Africa, still emotionally attached. He began reconnecting with Doris's family. He showered her with gifts, bought her a car, and he extended generosity not just to her but to her relatives as well. Slowly, family opinions shifted. The man once considered toxic was now being presented as changed, matured, and ready to be a husband. Doris resisted. She made it clear that she no longer loved Kingsley. She explained that affection could not be forced simply because a calendar was turning. But her objections were met with a familiar refrain. Feelings would come after marriage. Under relentless pressure, Doris began to consider a decision she did not fully believe in. During this time, she spoke honestly with Chris Okafor. She explained the pressure she was under and told him other suitors were emerging. Chris urged her not to marry anyone else and asked her to wait for him. The problem was timing. Chris was not ready to marry, and Doris could not afford endless waiting. Torn between love and societal expectation, she made a painful choice. In 2019, Doris married Kingsley Anyanwagu. The marriage, however, did not bring peace. Instead, it intensified the chaos. Kingsley reportedly became more controlling, more insecure, and more violent. Arguments frequently escalated into physical abuse. Separations became routine, reconciliations temporary. The cycle continued until November 2021, when Doris was allegedly beaten severely. She fled to Lagos, seeking safety and clarity. In Lagos, she visited Chris Okafor and confided in him about her troubled marriage. He listened, offered encouragement, and spoke to her from the position of a pastor. Afterwards, Doris returned to her husband, hoping things might improve. Instead, she was met with another shock. Kingsley admitted to impregnating another woman. Doris encountered the young lady in their home. Arguments followed, and though the situation was temporarily resolved, trust was further damaged. From 2021 into 2022, the marriage experienced brief calm before slipping back into turmoil. Kingsley resumed late-night returns. Unexplained hotel receipts appeared, and questioning him reportedly resulted in beatings. Amid all this, Doris maintained frequent communication with Chris Okafor. She found emotional comfort in those conversations. She later admitted that emotional intimacy crossed boundaries during this period, though she insisted it did not become physical while she was still married. By 2022, Chris reportedly advised Doris to leave her marriage, assuring her that he would marry her. Holding onto that promise, Doris ended her marriage and committed herself fully to a relationship with Chris. But the ending she expected did not arrive. Instead, Chris withdrew from the idea of marriage and proposed marriage to another woman in a private engagement. When Doris heard about this, what followed was emotional collapse. Doris claimed she suffered a miscarriage linked to the relationship, lost her brother under mysterious circumstances, and watched her health deteriorate. She accused Chris of sharing her private images with others and of deceiving her into sacrificing her marriage under false promises. The situation exploded publicly when a video of Chris Okafor proposing to another woman surfaced online. Hours later, Doris released her emotional video accusing him of destroying her life. Tears, anger, and heartbreak poured out as she questioned how she could be replaced after years of intimacy and sacrifice. As reactions poured in, Doris doubled down. She stated that she was not against marriage itself, but that she demanded settlement. Her conditions included the purchase of a house, which she described as compensation for years invested and promises broken. She insisted her demands were lawful and backed by evidence of marriage promises. Chris Okafor responded from the pulpits in a sermon. He dismissed the idea of marrying a woman he described as arrogant and unstable, making comments about reputation and personal conduct. His words further inflamed public debate. Background details surfaced: Chris's previous marriage allegations from his former wife and past interviews where he expressed fear of remarrying were revisited by the public. Every past statement suddenly felt prophetic or ironic, depending on who was listening. Despite Doris's vows to stop the wedding, pictures soon emerged. Chris Okafor had married Pearl. Both the traditional and white weddings took place in Lekki, Lagos, surrounded by family and friends. The ceremonies went ahead as planned. As the images circulated, social media erupted. Some sympathized with Doris, others defended the pastor, and many simply watched the drama unfold like a never-ending series. What began years earlier as private relationships ended as public spectacle, layered with heartbreak, controversy, and unanswered questions. In the end, the story stands as a complicated mix of love, timing, pressure, faith, power, and personal choices. It serves as a reminder that unresolved pasts have a way of resurfacing, especially when promises are made faster than realities can keep on.